The Tennessee Titans kicked off Phase 3 on Wednesday, and Cam Ward was absolutely cooking. I'm going to break down everything you need to know on today's edition of Locked On Titans.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans, on today's show, I'm going to break down everything you need to know from the first Phase 3 practice of the offseason for the Tennessee Titans. We're going to talk about Cam Ward's excellent day. We're going to talk about some rookie receivers who are making an impression, and we're going to talk about the players who weren't at OTAs and who we should probably be concerned about. Before we go into all of that, I do want to thank you for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first listen each and every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year round, always for free. You're not going to beat that anywhere else. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day here on the Locked On Titans podcast. Speaking of every day, shout out to my everydayers out there tuning in Monday through Friday. If you aren't an everydayer, you need to be one. The Tennessee Titans are going to have OTAs next week. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about Cam Ward using virtual reality to speed up his development process. To start next week's shows, I'm going to do my first 53-man roster prediction. Look, it may be the offseason for the Tennessee Titans, but there's no offseason here on Locked On Titans. Make sure you get subscribed, stay subscribed. Again, it's your team every day. But with that being said, do want to talk about how Cam Ward just came out and had a great day on Wednesday. Again, at the first Phase 3 OTA for the Tennessee Titans. What's Phase 3? Well, Phase 3 is when the team can actually start doing full team 7-on-7, full team 11-on-11, offense on defense. No pads, of course, but still, this is real life football as close as we're going to get until training camp. And throughout all of the different reports coming out of practice, all of them spoke glowingly about Cam Ward. I mean, we heard that Cam Ward was solid, that he threaded the ball with touch well in between the hashes. From my guy Ben, we heard from Brandon Gall that it was a good day for Cam Ward. He got the ball out quickly. He was accurate all day. Jim Wyatt said that he went 8 for 10 and 7-on-7, was 11 for 17 on the day. Just a lot of great stuff coming from Cam Ward. He was sharp early in the 7-on-7s. And you look at all the different completions that he was able to, or all the different receivers he was able to hit connections to. He had a good connection with Calvin Ridley. He had multiple passes to Elic Ayomanor, who, again, Ayo is a guy that we're going to talk about. He just continues to impress, and I really do think that he can have a major impact. But Parker Kelly said that the connection with Calvin Ridley and Elic Ayomanor was obvious. So you love hearing that Cam Ward is not only sharp early on and right out of the gate, he looks good. Was it, the best day ever? Did Cam Ward complete every single pass? And no, there were incompletions in 11-on-11s, according to report. There was a fumbled snap with Corey Levin, who is the starting center right now for the Titans, with Lloyd Cushenberry still coming back from the Achilles. So was it all perfect? Was it all clean? No, but again, getting the ball out quickly, accurate all day, developing a connection with the guys who are most important. Calvin Ridley is the best wide receiver on this team, and Cam Ward was able to connect with Calvin Ridley. There was a connection to Calvin Ridley that wasn't Cam Ward, but a pass from, I believe, Brandon Allen that I think it comes from Teron Davenport, said that there was a strike to Calvin Ridley, and he just raced by Gabe Judy Lawley. So the fact that Cam Ward's completing passes, finding Calvin Ridley early, they're right next to each other in the locker room, developing that connection is apparent to the media out on the field on the very first open session of Phase 3 OTAs for the Titans. This is literally the infancy of the offseason process. So love to hear that. Also, again, the connection with Elic Ayomanor. The number one play of the day that I saw multiple people talking about was a deep out route or a sideline route to Ayomanor, and there was a diving catch for it. The ball was put in the perfect spot, tight spiral, right on the sideline. And again, this is having the rookies be able to grow together, having Cam Ward looking at the other guys like Chim, Dike, who Cam Ward connected with on a deep crosser, according to Tehran. That's a route that we should see a ton from Chim Dike. He was great on deep crossing routes across the field during his time with Florida. He's got that 4.3 speed. That's the type of route you want to see him on. So seeing Calvin Ridley connect with Ayomanor on the sideline, seeing Cam Ward connect with Chim Dike on a deep crossing route, like that's exactly what you want. Another completion to Ayo on in traffic as well during practice. A strike to Van Jefferson on a dig route that, according to Teron Davenport, actually pissed off Denard Wilson. Defensive coordinator Denard Wilson had something to say to a linebacker who didn't drop deep enough to prevent that deep in route, that dig route that Cam Ward was able to hammer home to Van Jefferson. So, I mean, whether it be 7-on-7, 11-on-11, a lot to like from Cam Ward. All the reports look good. The connections that he's developing look fantastic. And this is exactly what you wanted to hear at the end of the day. You can't, something I talked about online on Wednesday before practice started is, nothing that happens in these OTAs is going to guarantee a result in the season. Like Cam Ward looking good today isn't going to guarantee that he's awesome in the regular season. And someone doing poorly isn't going to guarantee that they're not going to have a good season. But at the end of the day, you still want to see progress. You still want to see success. You still want to see some small wins. And having Cam Ward go out there, and they talked about, Cam Ward off the field as well in the plan there. Nick Holes, the Titans offensive coordinator, said that Cam Ward is often in the building earlier than the coaches. He's an early rise guy. Cam Ward likes to get up early, get to work, and get in there. Like that sort of stuff combined with now we're getting some on-field successes and some on-field excitement from Cam Ward. I go back to an episode I had maybe last week or the week before that. This has truly been a perfect start for Cam Ward. You could not ask for a better start, from maximizing the Zoom opportunities before draft to getting him the playbook and him diving into the playbook before the on-field work started and rookie minicamp showed up. And then being out there at rookie minicamp and having the impact on his teammates and them noticing like, hey, this guy moves different. Like, I go back to Ayomanor saying, like, if you're late with Cam Ward. He's going to get the ball on you. He's going to be on time, and you better be too. Like, he's already setting an example, checking the boxes. And I also want to go back to Jim Wyatt said in his kind of recap of OTAs that he can't say too much, but it's safe to assume that Cam Ward and Will Levis got the bulk of the reps. And we're going to talk about Will Levis on tomorrow's show and how rough of a day it was and how rough he looks talking to the media. But if it's safe to assume that Levis and Cam Ward got the bulk of the reps, then it's probably safe to assume that Cam Ward got the majority over Will Levis as well, because there are some Will Levis quotes in there that it doesn't seem like he may be getting as many opportunities as he wants, but that's to be expected. Now, it is worth noting here that I saw multiple people report that Brandon Allen actually got first-team QB1 snaps. Not snaps, but the first QB. Like, Brandon Allen ran with the first-team offense on the first snap of first-team offense. All I can tell you guys is don't look too much into it. Again, the Jim Wyatt quote from his article, it's safe to assume that Cam Ward and Will Levis got the bulk of the snaps. Brandon Allen may have ran QB1 snaps on the first rep of team 7-on-7, stuff like that. But Cam Ward's going to be your QB1, and they're setting things up perfectly. So very excited about Cam Ward. But now let's talk more about the guys who are catching those passes, because I'm so hyped for the rookie pass catchers. Do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Look, I'm going to be honest. I can't say that I'm too happy about the finals matchup. I wanted the Knicks. I wanted the Wolves. That's not going to happen. But I do think that the Thunder are going to win the finals pretty handily, quite frankly. So I'm going to be hammering money lines for the Thunder, covering with the spread. I'm going to take SGA over on the points, but I'm still going to take some Tyrese Halliburton stuff as well, like over on assists. If you want to check it out, you're new to FanDuel, now is the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com, place your first $5 bet, and if it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Titans fans, let's continue today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast, breaking down everything that you need to know from Tennessee Titans Phase 3 OTAs on Wednesday. We talked about Cam Ward, everything you need to know about him, his day, great first start. Was it, incredible, impossible, didn't miss a pass, touchdown every throw? No. It wasn't that. There were some things that did not go well, but for the most part, a very, very good day and the first kind of live team action that we get to see Cam Ward in. But with that being said, I do want to move forward to some of the other players that made an impression. And we got to go back to some of the wide receivers that we talked about again. Elic, Ayomanor. I will continue to pound the table that out of the 3 rookie wide receivers that we are most excited about, Chim, Dike, Ayomanor, and Xavier Restrepo. I know that Xavier Restrepo is the safe choice here and maybe the odds-on favorite just because of the connection he has with Cam Ward, but I will keep pounding the table that it'll be Ayomanor that will make the biggest impact as a rookie wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans. And again, a lot of it has to do with what role he can play. You have Calvin Ridley, you have Tyler Lockett, both guys who can play in the slot and who can play the Z wide receiver spot, which is off the line of scrimmage, not taking press coverage, get them in motion, use their speed, use their quickness. But the X wide receiver role, which DeAndre Hopkins played last year and NWI played a lot of, and they wanted Treylon Burks to play a lot of last year, that X wide receiver role, the physical, on the line of scrimmage, isolated in the formation, press coverage on him, that guy, the Titans don't have a lot of that guy. Van Jefferson is maybe that guy, but even Van Jefferson is a guy who I don't know if even at his size and strength, if he's physical enough to do that consistently. But you can't count on Treylon Burks. We'll talk about Treylon Burks here at the end of the show. His return, he's ahead of schedule. Good for Burks. But you can't count on Treylon Burks. And then, again, you have Van Jefferson. But who outside of that can play the X consistently? Bryce Oliver played some X, but he's 6'1", like 190. I don't know if Bryce Oliver is big and physical enough to where you want him to be your starting X receiver. Like, we're going to do my 53-man roster prediction to start next week. That's going to be my Monday and my Tuesday show. Peek behind the curtain. I'm going on vacation this weekend, y'all. So, little 53-man roster going to keep you guys held over until next Titans practice. But the point is, Ayomanor has a chance with his talent level and the need the Titans have for an X and how he fits that at 6'2", 210 pounds. Like, have his size and his strength and his contested catch ability, and then also the movement ability. Like, he caught a pass on the sideline. Teron Davenport talked about how he's going to be really, really good on dig routes and vertical routes. Like, he's a guy who, for his size, has excellent ability to run routes and is a smooth mover. So if he can win contested catch situations like he did with the diving catch on the sideline from Cam Ward on Wednesday, and Ayomanor can run those in-breaking routes, those post routes, those crossing routes, those dig routes, those deep ends, those short end routes where the Titans are trying to manipulate a linebacker in zone coverage. If Ayomanor can succeed on all of that stuff, I don't see how he isn't the X starting receiver for the Titans before Halloween. You know what I mean? He's just a better athlete than Van Jefferson. Even though Van Jefferson has speed, Ayomanor just is a smoother mover. gives you more upside as well. I know that Restrepo is the odds-on favorite because of the connection. I know Chim Dike was drafted ahead of Ayomanor, but just something about it. I just believe, and now that he picked number 5 is an elite wide receiver number. So I just have a feeling, man. I don't know what it is. I just have a feeling. And now we're hearing, great on the dig routes and the vertical routes from TD, that Calvin Ridley was actually giving praise to him out on the field as practice was happening, according to TD. That's exciting. That Calvin Ridley is already noticing the rookie on day one. He's already making diving catches on the sideline, catches in traffic over the middle of the field. I know that the hype train is going out of control for me right now, but I really believe in Ayo, and I think he's going to make a big impact. But Chim Dike, like we talked earlier, Chim Dike caught a deep crossing route, which is exactly what he's supposed to do. Also, he's a guy who is going to have return ability, and it's going to have the ability to impact the team immediately with that speed in the return game. And he was doing punt return on Wednesday at practice. So they're already leveraging him that way. He caught another pass from Tim Boyle. So multiple catches during practice for Ayomanor, for Dike. These are guys that are going to make an instant impact in multiple different ways. Again, I think Ayo makes more of an impact on offense, but Dike could be a great returner right away, and something that the Titans haven't had in forever. It's been forever. So, love hearing that from the 2 rookie drafted wide receivers. I also want to mention, I forget the video. I tweeted it out. But Xavier Restrepo, I'm sorry, but either it was the injury that was hampering him, either it was a deliberate throw of the 40-yard dash to get him to be an undrafted free agent so he could come to Tennessee. I don't know what happened, but watching Xavier Restrepo run routes you're watching individual drills for the wide receiver group, and you're seeing all the wide receivers run the same exact route, going through the same exact drill. And I'm sorry, but Xavier Restrepo did not look significantly slower than even Chim Dike looked on those short routes, which makes sense because he may not have long 40-yard dash speed, but Xavier Restrepo was one of the quickest wide receivers on those little short routes that I saw on film while doing any of my scouting leading up to the NFL draft. So his quickness on the short routes, quick out route, quick sit down route, stuff like that, that is where he's going to make his bones in the NFL. And when you watch him compared to other wide receivers in those scenarios, it's not like, oh man, that guy's slow. He's not moving the same. That's not an NFL player. It's not noticeable at all. So what a steal the Titans got there. Very excited about the 3 rookie wide receivers. Some other young guys, I do want to talk about Gunnar Helm. Gunnar Helm caught multiple passes. He caught one from Cam Ward. He caught one from Brandon Allen. And remember, I just want to say this. Brandon Allen got first-team reps. So if Gunnar Helm on the first play is catching, a seam route from Brandon Allen, one might be able to put 2 and 2 together and say, Gunnar Helm was running with the first team. I think Gunnar Helm starts this year. I think he gets the most tight end snaps of anybody on the team this year. Very excited to hear that. Now, I'm putting 2 and 2 together there and assuming a little bit. I haven't been able to confirm that was a first-team rep where Allen completed to Gunnar Helm, but hey, I'm just saying, let's connect these dots. Finally, I do want to give a shout-out to Gabe Judy Lawley. I read multiple different reports that Gabe Judy Lawley was impressive. I saw a report that he actually was the first-team cornerback because L'Jarius Sneed was gone. Gabe Judy Lawley had multiple pass breakups and apparently looks very much improved. Remember, he was an undrafted free agent out of Tennessee a couple of years ago. Big size guy, so can play on the outside. Him and Darrell Baker going at it could be great for the Tennessee Titans. That's great news. Gabe Judy Lawley is able to take a step up because, again, I am concerned about cornerback, and a lot of that concern comes from whatever's going on with L'Jarius Sneed. Let's talk about the guys that weren't at Tennessee Titans OTAs and whether or not I'm concerned about it. Titans fans, let's continue today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. We talked about Cam Ward's performance at OTAs. We talked about some of the rookie pass catchers that I'm excited about as well. Now let's talk about who was not in attendance or who was not full go at practice and how concerned we should be. Before we get into it, I do want to thank you again for making Locked On Titans your first listen. For your second listen, check out Locked On NFL Scouting. You got Joe Marino, you got Kyle Krabs. They're going to be breaking down everything you need to know about all the different roster moves around the NFL. They're going to make you the most informed NFL fan you could possibly be. Again, check out Locked On NFL Scouting on whatever podcast platform that you listen to and on YouTube. But with that being said, who wasn't at OTAs on Wednesday? Well, number one, Tyler Lockett. Number two, L'Jarius Sneed. Number three, Kevin Zeitler. Number four, Jeffrey Simmons. Number five, T'Vondre Sweat. Lloyd Cushenberry was obviously not out there as he rehabs from his Achilles tear. Traylon Burks did some individual work, but worked on a side field. He's not fully back, as Brian Callahan said. Kevin Winston and Callum Mullings, the two rookies who we knew were coming back from injuries, they also were working on a side field and not full go. But overall, other than that, fantastic attendance. Think there are four guys or five guys, if you count L'Jarius Sneed, who are coming back from injury, which means Lockett, Zeitler, Simmons, and Sweat were really the only guys who should have been there working who weren't. Okay, so let's go through these. Tyler Lockett, not worried about Tyler Lockett at all. Not even for a single second. Not even for a smidgen of time. Tyler Lockett was at all of the earlier OTAs, so it's not like he skipped them all completely. And I thought it was funny that Nick Holes was talking in his press conference, Titans offensive coordinator, about how he had to tell Tyler Lockett to slow down because Lockett was sending him all these clips of different plays and stuff. And Nick Holes is like, hey, man, we're in May. Like, we got to slow down a little bit. I'll be honest, I didn't like that answer from Nick Holes. Like, accept the grind, bro. Appreciate the grind. Like, don't tell Tyler Lockett to not be as locked in as he is. I don't like that at all. But anyway, Tyler Lockett's fine. He's a great teammate. He's going to be ready to go. 0% worry. Now, L'Jarius Sneed, on the other hand, I am worried. I'm officially worried. And I think I got to be honest with you. I think about a month ago, we talked about this L'Jarius Sneed situation, and I think my level of concern was incorrect. I wasn't concerned. I didn't think it was a big deal. Wouldn't worry about it. Blah, blah, blah. I think I was wrong. I think we should worry about it. I think it's a big problem. And I think Brian Callahan saying that L'Jarius Sneed has to separate his work life and his professional life. And listen, the way that he was saying it, I think he's saying like, hey, he's got off-field stuff going on. He's got to be able to like compartmentalize and kind of let that stuff go when he comes to work. But the fact that Brian Callahan is out there saying publicly like, yeah, we need L'Jarius Sneed to separate his work life and his personal life. He's still rehabbing the quad, rehabbing the knee. I mean, the odds that this doesn't turn into an outright disaster this year for the Titans and that L'Jarius Sneed actually plays most of the season, the odds of that are so low. So I think it's incredibly concerning that L'Jarius Sneed is not present, even if he is rehabbing and not able to play. Like, just be in the building more, man. Just like, anytime L'Jarius Sneed spends time away from the Titans, not at work when he should be at work, not good. In my opinion, only making my optimism decrease even more than it already is. Kevin Zeitler, I said yesterday, 0% concerned about Kevin Zeitler. He's 35, one of the best guards in the league. Let him do whatever he wants to do. I really do not care. Cush is rehabbing from the Achilles. Whatever has to happen there, do it. Simmons. Look, I said yesterday that, Jeffrey Simmons should be able to do whatever he wants, and Brian Callahan said that Jeffrey Simmons is the player on the team he's least concerned about being ready to go when it's time to get into training camp. But I'll say this. With the emphasis that Brian Callahan has put on leadership this offseason, talking about we need people not just to lead by example, but to lead vocally and to do more. With all the newness surrounding the team and the team going 3-14 last year, all I'll say is I wish Jeffrey Simmons was there. I feel right now, with where the team is, they want to establish big-time leaders. And for Simmons and Sweat to not be there right now, that's disappointing. And I'll be honest, I'm much more disappointed in T'Vondre Sweat not being there. Now, we haven't got an answer as to why T'Vondre Sweat is missing. Could be like, he's finishing his degree, or it could be a multitude of different things. Maybe he's, doing DUI camp from last year's DUI. I don't know what's going on. That's just a joke. Everyone relax. But I would like T'Vondre Sweat to be there because the new version of the Tennessee Titans with Cam Ward and Femi, like T'Vondre Sweat should be one of the big leaders of this new era of the Titans. So if he's just not going to OTAs because he doesn't feel like he has to, and he's like a vet now, and I don't need to do that, that would be disappointing. So I'm guessing that there is a good reason why T'Vondre Sweat is missing OTAs, and it's not just he's working out on his own, doing his own thing. I hope that that's not it, because year 2, you haven't earned that opportunity, in my opinion. But Treylon Burks was out there. I'm glad he's ahead of schedule, but guys, I'm just going to be blatantly honest here. Like, he didn't look good. He looks heavy. He looks slow. I mean, he's coming back from an ACL tear, so I guess what would you expect? But I don't know. You guys know how I feel about the ghost of Treylon Burks. I just refuse to believe in anything positive that anybody has to say about what Burks could be. I think he's going to be cut. When I do my roster prediction, there's a spoiler for you. I think Treylon Burks is going to be cut. I don't think he's going to make this team. I think there are better wide receivers ahead of him, and now he's on the last year of his rookie deal. They already declined his option. Like, it's $4.5 million that has already been spent. You can't save any money. You can't lose any money. Just cut him. It's over. Winston and Mullings. We knew that they were coming back from injuries. Winston coming back from the ACL tear last year. Mullings coming back from a core muscle injury. No big deal there. But again, other than that, everyone was there. And that is great attendance when you have a lot of your older veteran players like an Amani Hooker, like Arden Key, like a Cody Barton, like a Calvin Ridley, like a Tony Pollard. When you have these older veteran-type players showing up for these early, this isn't even mandatory minicamp. To me, that's a good sign for the Titans. Does it mean they're going to win a bunch of games? No, it can't guarantee any of that. But again, in the pass or fail view of this, it's a pass when it comes to attendance. But with that being said, again, tomorrow we're going to continue reacting to OTAs. Very rough day for Will Levis, and he just looks rough overall. Man, they really got to find a way to get him to a new team. We're going to talk about the defensive side of the ball because there's updates there. Inside linebackers, special teams. Femi Oladejo continues to impress. And we're going to talk to Easton Freeze about his article about how the Titans are using the virtual reality system that Jaden Daniels used last year in his rookie year, so can't wait to discuss that. So a lot to talk about on tomorrow's show. Can't wait to see you guys there. But that's going to do it for me today, folks. As always, I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.